Okay people, so the spoilers for Boruto chapter 56 are in, and yeah, it's exciting because we're about to be starting seemingly a new arc, but at the same time, based on the teaser we recently had, we know that things aren't slowing down by any means. Shit is supposed to keep on kicking into high gear. So yeah, we've got spoilers, we got to talk about it. Without further ado people, let's jump into it.
No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done.
Okay, so for starters, these spoilers are courtesy of Organic Dinosaur. Boruto chapter 56 code. This version is only to list the major happenings in the storyline. The more detailed extensive summary, yeah, because she released two versions of this one, which is just like a summary of the events, which is still very in-depth, but then there's a really in-depth one. Yeah, I'll be reading for like 2 weeks, so we're gonna just go with this one, and then, you know, we'll get the full chapter eventually. So yeah, point number 1, Sumide has a solo feature on the color cover page. Especially with the manga, how the manga just basically gives us big play after play. Why Sumide on the cover page? Like, she's not important like that at all. Like, she's what, she works at Katasuke's lab or some shit. Like, she has not been important. In fact, she started off as a filler character from the anime and then got incorporated into the manga. What the hell? What's the point? I mean, I get it that, hey, you know, on the cover of V-Jump we got Kawaki and Boruto, so like, hey, we have extra room to play with something else. But Sumide, out of all things, like, what possible importance is she gonna have enough to be like, yeah, yo, she needs the color page, she's representative of the upcoming materials, fam? Like, what? But okay, whatever. Let's keep going. Point number 2, Kawaki's arm has been restored to normal functionality by Amado and checkups with Sumide. Is that why she got the cover page? No. But you can see that Amado, he's clearly going to immediately tend to Kawaki for whatever reason, whatever agenda, whatever secretive motive that he has. Kawaki is a big part of it. Like, you know, we saw in the last chapter or the chapter before that, one or the other, of him being just relieved, like, oh, but Kawaki's all right? So that's his main priority. So of course he's gonna immediately go in and fix up Kawaki, bring him back to, you know, nurse him back to health, so to speak. And also it's gonna make Kawaki like, okay, he's gonna be even more capable now that he's gonna have a fixed up arm, courtesy of, again, Amado, which Amado is just like a step above. Like, Katasuke and them, like, they're good scientists, great scientists, in fact, like even Orochimaru, but there's something about Amado that really makes me wonder, who the hell is he? Next up, Shikamaru has determined that Team 7 should no longer partake in missions. Says who? No. Shikamaru, what the hell? Like, I mean, I get it, right? Because Boruto, he has the karma mark, he's a ticking time bomb, and there's no Team 7, and they probably wouldn't even maneuver well, or even at all for that matter, if Boruto isn't a part of them with Sarada and Mitsuki. And I guess technically they said like Kawaki is part of the Team 7. Remember when they were fighting Boro and shit like that? So I guess you don't want these ticking time bombs walking with you. Like, imagine they're in a mission and Boruto gets pissed off. Yeah, like, on second thought, I fully and wholeheartedly agree with Shikamaru. Like, we cannot risk, like, imagine they're in the middle of a mission and Boruto just bugs the hell out and Momoshiki takes over. He could kill Sarada, Mitsuki, and anybody else around. So yeah, Shikamaru is dead on the nose on that one. Like, ixnay for the missions. Next up, Sarada, Mitsuki, Shikadai, Inojin, Chocho have a frank discussion about Boruto, which, wow, they're actually going to be shown in the manga. We never see majority of those characters in the manga. They're mainly, like, you know, used in the anime and shit like that. So I guess it's going to be cool to see. And at the same time, I'm sure, while some of them, like Sarada, is going to be defending Boruto regardless, like, that's her man's all day, she's going to have his back. I'm sure some of them, like probably Chocho and Inojin, for example, they're going to be like, yo, he's a threat, I'm scared of him, give him the fuck away from me, alright? Like, yo, you want to do all that Team 7 shit? That shit is dope, that's fine. All day, have at it. Leave me away from that motherfucker, alright? That's probably how it's gonna go, more or less. Well, that's how I would put it. I know they don't talk like that, but you get what I'm saying. Kawaki suggests that Boruto should implant karma onto Code so he could reincarnate. And that's something, I'll be honest with you, I don't get. Like, I've read this line I don't know how many times now while I'm recording this, and I still don't understand what logic that makes. Kawaki suggests that Boruto should implant karma onto Code so he could reincarnate. Like, does he mean like, yo, Boruto, put a karma mark on Code so that I can, like, what does that mean? The only thing that's gonna come out of it would be Momoshiki, right? Momoshiki's gonna come out of Code, so I don't understand, unless he means like maybe Karma would kill Code and Code would I don't understand. Code was the only other kid who survived Jigen's baptism from the same batch as Kawaki, and I remember there was a panel actually floating around, people talking about it, that it was actually mentioned like, oh, there's one kid left during Jigen and Amado's experiments and shit like that right after Kawaki. I think it was right around the time after Kawaki's experiment, they were like, yo, there's one kid left, which it made sense that it would be Code. Obviously Code was still technically like a failure, but they were impressed with him enough to keep him around at the very least. Code's karma can only be used for its weaponry attributes and not a vessel, which, I mean, at this stage in the game, does he even want to be? I guess the only thing that would make it like, yeah, he would want a vessel would be that, hey, he's trying to be straight up like the Otsutsuki, like Ishiki and shit like that, and that was their thing. But in reality, like, what would he need a vessel right now? Like, if he's trying to just become this Otsutsuki god and travel through universes and all sorts of weird crazy shit, like, I don't think he really, if anything, he needs the weapons. I don't think he needs the vessel. The whole reason for the vessel to begin with was that Ishiki was a crippled Otsutsuki that needed a new body because he was stuck in the body of Jigen. What the hell would you need a vessel at this point, especially Code? Code pays a visit to an establishment that's home to Boruto's religious organization. Was it ever mentioned that Boruto had a religious organization or that he was religious to begin with? Like, yo, this kind of sounds like a little bit of a Hidan, Akatsuki moment. Like, where's Lord Jashin? Like, yo, imagine Boruto was down with Lord Jashin and shit. That would be crazy, but this was never mentioned, and I can imagine that this is going to be incorporated probably into the anime. I can see this being anime canonized now. Maybe we'll get like an episode or two of them going and seeking out Boruto's religious organization, or seeing Boruto going to his religious organization. But again, these are things that are being added after the fact, just keeping it real. Like, maybe it was mentioned in one line or two, but it was never really established. And Boruto's character, for that matter, like, this actually would have been beneficial for Boruto's character if it was introduced, the idea early on, like, okay, so he's this religious guy, like, that's a part of his shtick, but we didn't get any of that. So getting it after the fact, that's cool and all, and it seems like they're utilizing that to help build on whatever Code got going, but that would have been nice to have for Boruto. And I think it would have even been more impactful for Code, because we would have all that context and then giving us a reason why, oh yeah, that would work perfectly, but instead it's, again, being added after the fact. Code's fingers morph into a Wolverine's claw when karma is activated. Theory time right here. Bam, we thought it would be Ishiki and shit like that, but it's going to be Code that is going to take Boruto's eye, just like, which it's very symbolic of Boruto having one of his eyes scratched off the way, like, you know, his sensei that he's looked up to, the whole thing of a shinobi soul never changes and shit like that. Like, it's gonna happen to him earlier than it happened to Sasuke, because at the very least Sasuke had like a full life of to an adult having both of his eyes. But yo, I'm calling it right now. It's going to be Code with the claw. Before the time skip goes down, he is going to be the one to scar Boruto and make him get that Jagan, which it's going to be weird because in the anime, like, he's already had it activate like a bajillion times, but in the manga, we haven't even seen it once ever since the very first chapter of like the time skip and shit. But yeah, I'm calling it. Those claws, it makes sense. And it also, I don't know why, it gives me like vibes of like, remember when Blackbeard, we've seen the flashback of him with the claws, and that's how Shanks got the scar on his face. Maybe that was the influence. I don't know. Code can extend his black studded belt material and use them like gateways, then portals in battles for sneak attacks. That is exactly how it's going to happen. He's going to use that thin portal to sneak attack Boruto with the claw. Bam, bada boom. This is how it's going to happen. I'm calling it. Like, this makes so much sense. Those two right there, those 2 points of him having the claws and then having those portals that he can use for sneak attacks. Yeah, which those portals kind of sound like Obito's jutsu that he would use with his Sharingan to go through, you know, the space-time dimension and shit like that. I wonder if it's similar. Code is the only cyborg who was modified by Amado with a limiter in order to suppress his overwhelming powers. Now, Cyborg and them saying he was modified, so I'm imagining he was a human at one given point and then modified someone, so like, you know, Cyborg from the Teen Titans, like, he was once a human and then added like robotic parts, and that's what makes him, because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Delta fully robotic? Like, they had replacements of Delta, but it seems as though maybe Code was once upon a time a human and then a whole bunch of robot parts were added to him. But also him having a limiter means that there's going to be releases, and at some given point he's going to be at his full potential. He's going to break through the limiter and say, haha, this is how strong I am. But yeah, it is weird that he's like a cyborg. I can't imagine him being fully robotic, right? Because then how the hell, what, you're going to put karma on inanimate objects? Like, yo, I'm going to put karma on this mic, fam. Amado has made many other cyborgs who surpass Jigen's powers. However, Jigen ordered him to dispose of them. Which again, I'm imagining what they mean by made many other cyborgs is he modified many other human beings, and that's crazy that Jigen disposed of them, but that also showcased like, yeah, he ain't want nobody that's gonna be able to take him down, but also like, yo, just think back, Naruto and Sasuke got their asses whipped by Jigen. Don't forget that. Like, it wasn't only Ishiki the second time around. They got their asses whipped by Jigen. So if there was somebody more powerful than Jigen, these robots that were disposed of, quote unquote, yeah, big trouble. Code was not disposed of due to his loyalty to Jigen and admiration of the Otsutsuki. Ah, the benefits of kissing ass and tap dancing. Boro secretly stored away those other cyborgs instead of letting them get destroyed. What's up with them adding all this lore about Boro that was never explained? This is something else that's probably going to be showcased in the anime of like, oh, look at all these cyborgs and Boro's, you know, storing them away and shit like that. But also, if they were stronger than Jigen, Code just got so many more allies right now. And if he's going to that organization to probably ask those people that was rocking with Boro, like, yo, where the robots at? Where the robots at, fam? We're in trouble. This is definitely, it's kind of once again going back down the android route that it initially felt like. Like, originally, the whole Kara situation, it felt like, oh shit, this is the android saga of Boruto, and then it kind of went into, funny enough, the Cell saga with like Jigen. He was kind of like Cell, and then now it's kind of going back down the android route. Code directly asks Bug for a cyborg named Ada, who apparently knows everything about this world. So who the hell is Bug and who the hell is Ada? I'm imagining Bug is going to be one of the people from that organization, the religious organization that was rocking with Boro. But yeah, a lot of introductions coming into, which again, if Code is the last man standing, right, on the opposition that we need to take him down, obviously I still don't think, I don't trust Amado either, but in terms of like who we're looking at, and aside of course from the Ten Tails, we got Code. He needs some people to help him. And if we're going to have all these cyborgs that are basically stronger than Jigen and probably stronger than him, at the very least until he does his release, and all the power that's being suppressed is actually utilized, yeah, we're going to have some trouble. Naruto calls for a 5 Kage summit to share their new intel with other villages. Oh my god, that sounds so hype. And imagine this. Imagine if while the 5 Kage summit is going on, Code shows up on like some type of Sasuke situation. Like, remember when Sasuke showed up to the 5 Kage summit to threaten them, and then basically they declared war, like Obito and him? Like, yo, what if it went down like that? That would be freaking crazy, especially if Code has all these cyborgs now that was stronger than Jigen, and Naruto and Sasuke couldn't fuck with Ishiki Otsutsuki, let alone even before that when he was in his Jigen form. Boruto has decided that he's going to start training up immediately in order to defeat Code. Well, what the hell else is he gonna do? Shikamaru basically banned him from going on missions, and Code is coming up, which we're starting to head towards less of the OG Naruto feel, and we're heading into Shippuden. And what I mean by that is, we was for the longest time like, you know, original Naruto, going on mission after mission after mission. Seems as though missions for Team 7, the way it was done, similar to like the way Naruto started with the missions and whatnot, is going to be over, and we're heading more into like the Shippuden era-esque Akatsuki type of situation. And again, we might actually, I thought it was going to keep on kicking into high gear, but we might actually have some downtime. Maybe when he gets his hands on these cyborgs, it's going to take some time for them to be put back to the way they were. So we're going to have to wait a while, and that could force a time skip. Also, Boruto not being able to go on missions. He's probably going to go training. We still had a lot of questions, though, and I can't wait to get this actual chapter because it kind of seems a little bit wonky. A lot of stuff going on. Why the hell is Sumire on the cover page? Why? But yeah, crazy stuff. Curious what you guys think about all this. What do you think about this whole introduction of this religious organization Boro was rocking with? All these cyborgs that were stronger than Jigen. Your thoughts on Amado's weird, you know, secretive, mysterious ass, and your thoughts on everything that's about to go down with this chapter. Can't wait to have the full contents of it so we can understand it. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this full-on chapter. Just why the Sumire cover? Why? Have an awesome day.
So just go to